I'ma skip town, see my wrist drown. Everybody wanna me for benefits now, man. I wish.
Yo, what is good, everybody? My name's the Coaster King, and today I'm going to go through what park I think will be the first in the Six Flags chain to get a Giga coaster. These coasters are so popular across the nation, and everybody wants to go on them, and everybody's wondering which Six Flags park is going to be the first one to get it. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to run through some candidates I think are possibly able to get it, and at the end, give which one I think is most likely to get their first Giga. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. My first candidate for the first Giga coaster coming to Six Flags Parks is Six Flags Great America. Six Flags Great America has one of the best coaster lineups in the Six Flags chain, if not the best. They do have a B&M Hyper right now called the Raging Bull, and that's generally seen as a decent ride by enthusiasts. It's not super loved or super hated. It's just kind of one of those middle of the road rides. Um, the reason I put Great America on here is just because it's a bigger park. Six Flags loves to add new roller coasters, new rides into the park. They're rumored to get another RMC conversion in their American Eagle ride. So clearly, Six Flags does not care about you know uh, dropping money on this park. Another reason I saw is that they're the only park I believe with a B&M wing coaster with the X Flight. So I think that's another good idea because if Six Flags is constantly willing to put in these new rides that are new and very expensive, being a wing into Great America, I think they are a likely candidate. My next candidate is Six Flags Great Adventure. Great Adventure has the most land out of any amusement park in the world, I believe. It has a ton of land in the safari that they can use to make the new Giga coaster. I think Six Flags is more than willing to add new rides, as seen as in the Jersey Double Coaster, and they also have a ton of land available to possibly make the Giga. A lot of these other candidates or parks that I'm talking about don't have a ton of land available, and that definitely hinders their availability to get a Giga. But Great Adventure has that land, has a ton of space that they can build the ride, and I think thus that makes it a candidate as opposed to some of the other ones. My third candidate is Six Flags Fiesta Texas, and I know this is not one of the bigger, huger parks that I was talking about like the last two, but this one is a good possibility. This one is also commonly seen as the tester Six Flags park. So one example is the 40 free flies. They were the ones who got the first 40 free flies. Six Flags tested it out here. They loved it, so they put it into other parks. They tested out the Raptor here with the first Raptor, tested it out, and now they put it into Great Adventure. So the next idea would be, maybe they put in a Giga here, see how it goes, and put it into other parks. So that can be a reason why it would go into Fiesta Texas. But I do see one con, and I was just talking about it earlier. It's the spacing. When I went to this park, I feel like there's not enough room for a Giga unless they take down a bunch of things. Maybe they take down that whole go-kart section, that entire area, just to build a Giga. That's not that realistic, if we're being honest. Maybe you can utilize the quarry wall to its advantage and really be an amazing ride in that sense. That's another possibility. But the spacing issue is definitely a problem, and they're going to have to work around it if they have to. This park does not have a hypercoaster, so that it would definitely fill that hole in the lineup. But it can definitely use a Giga, but once again, the spacing issues are going to be a huge problem for this park to get the new Giga. And the last candidate to be the first park to get a Giga is Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is the flagship park, so anyone with half a brain would immediately think, okay, maybe this is one of the ones that can get it. Their hypercoaster Goliath is really, really not liked by enthusiasts. It's rough. I rode Titan at Six Flags Over Texas, which is pretty much a similar ride, and it really wasn't good at all. I think that it's a Morgan Hyper, I believe. It's just not that good of a ride compared to something like a B&M Hyper, even a B&M Giga. I think Magic Mountain can really use a Giga, maybe a B&M or Intamin, to push it over the edge over the other parks. One possibility that I do see is maybe they get the first T-Rex, and that would be a Giga. That would be an awesome idea. This park doesn't have too much spacing issues. They can definitely fit it in a couple of places. One option I do see is take down Goliath completely because no one really likes the ride, if we're being honest. They take down that, have a lot of space for a Giga, and then there that would be a decent option. So for the park that I think is the most likely, and I guess the final verdict, is Six Flags Magic Mountain. The other parks either had a spacing issue, like Fiesta Texas, or were just not the parks that Six Flags invests the most money into. It's like Great America or Great Adventure. If I had to pick the next most likely one, I'd say it's Great America. But the reason I put Magic Mountain over Great America is one, Magic Mountain has more space and more availability to expand, and two, Six Flags likes to put in more money to Magic Mountain, and that's just a fact. The rumored to get a Raptor next season. They've gotten Twisted Colossus recently. Uh, they've gotten a bunch of new roller coasters and new rides constantly. Like every year, you see them adding something really big, and that's something that makes it seem like they want to keep adding to the park and making it better. And that's the reason I'm gonna say that Magic Mountain is gonna be one to get the first Giga. Maybe I'm gonna talk about the Great America possibility. I think that that's also a possibility, but I also do see that Raging Bull kind of fills the gap. If they were to get B&M Giga, it'd be kind of weird because they already have Raging Bull, and how different is a B&M Giga to a B&M Hyper? Not that different. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section any video ideas you guys want me to hit, and see you guys later.
I'ma skip town, see my wrist down. Everybody wanna me for benefits now. Man, I wish my